Friends, we are back here at Smarknado. I am your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the dirty Danaconda, Dan Cessnett. How are you doing, sir?
Woo! I am doing good. I've had a very busy couple of weeks here, but we're back, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's a lot of.
I'm excited too. And just to that point, I just want to say, I think we're going to have to stop saying you can get used to us every week because, as you know, as everybody that listens knows, it's been pretty hard for us to have a consistent show every week. As of right now in our lives, that's just kind of where the wind blows. We're going to get shows going the best that we can, but it might not be week to week anymore.
Life happens.
Life happens exactly. But
See, life happens.
see, you get it. That was so well timed right there.
That is
that explains a lot.
Hello, baby.
Help!
I can't help you right now, but I will help you shortly. Okay.
See what I mean, guys? It's a little hard to do this week after week when you got a father of two, soon to be a father of three, and working nights, and it's a lot.
Well,
not to say that my life isn't busy either.
Yeah. So. You never know. Things could change.
Absolutely. But all in all, we are glad that we're here today. And we thank everyone who is loyal to us, who will listen to us whenever we do release the show, no matter what circumstances we may be facing. Fact of the matter is, we got a pretty big wrestling weekend ahead of us, and we'd be remiss if we didn't come on here and talk about what's going on. This may sound random, but one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, which is actually available right now, is I'm not a huge fan of Chris Van Vliet in general, but he just dropped a podcast episode with Steve Blackman.
Okay.
And Steve Blackman never does interviews ever.
Okay.
I'm very interested in this because
I just haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I want to hear what he has to say. I'm always I'm more interested in people from that era that you don't really hear from that much. See what stories that they have,
It's an interesting get. You're right. You don't hear much from him, but I can't imagine it will be a bad interview. I'm not a huge Van Vliet fan, but he is a good interview.
He gets a lot of big names.
He's got his biases, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me that much. I think he puts together a good interview and does get a lot of big names. So hopefully this one's entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. I want to hear all about head cheese and what his real. Actually, I was talking to a friend of the show, John, yesterday, and I hope they go into detail about Chester McCheeserton, the little Mexican cheese head wearing mascot of head cheese.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to be the case.
He's going to drop the ball in that interview if there's not one mention of Chester McCheeserton. We demand to know answers where his whereabouts and who he is, and all right, I rest my case.
Nobody knows, but I'm still going to listen to the interview. Where I'm sure it's wherever podcasts are found in general, but
it's up on YouTube apparently too.
YouTube. Okay. Well, we're on YouTube right now. Shout out YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive right into this. Let's talk about what we have on the WWE side of things first. Does it pale in comparison to what we have on the AEW side? Absolutely. But that's why we're getting it out of the way first. Let's just talk about it. So first on deck, we have Saturday night's main event. I believe we have an NXT show this weekend too, right?
Jesus, there's so much that a WWE is trying to throw at this all-in weekend. But
yeah.
Yes, there is an NXT show as well.
Is that what is the NXT show?
Oh boy.
I literally have to look this up on the spot because I forgot what Let's see what
Great
we got.
American Bash, maybe.
Great American. Okay, NXT Great American Bash.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see.
There's only 3 announced matches for that right now.
July 12th. All right. So we're here as it stands right now on Tuesday, where NXT is going to be on tonight. So sure, there's going to be more matches announced, as well as more matches that should be announced for Saturday night's main event, because they're both looking pretty bare. But let's just cover what we have right now. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre is one of the matches. I kind of don't care about this.
I don't know what the build is. I don't care.
It's kind of got thrown together.
Yeah, there's not much about it that is exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say, Randy wins, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to go Drew because I think Drew needs it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have something I am actually looking forward to, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. I think that they have had a pretty good build to this match.
Okay, what's the build? Because truthfully, I've been missing it. I have Raw on in the background right now, and I haven't really been following the past couple of weeks to be completely.
Ever since like the last show, Rollins and his crew have been giving LA Knight problems.
Okay.
And they messed with him at Money in the Bank. And then LA Knight went on to cost Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker some matches too. And it's leading up to this match with Rollins. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think that a lot of people downplay LA Knight's ability. I think you put him in there with the right guy, he's really going to have a great match, and this is going to be a good match. And I think Rollins wins, continues that momentum. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins with some help though, and it makes LA Knight still look strong coming out of it.
Sure. I'm just curious who downplays LA Knight's ability. I don't ever think. I mean, I've always thought he was a pretty solid wrestler.
He's a solid wrestler. I mean, he's not necessarily
not flashy, but
flashy. Yeah.
tells a good story inside the ropes. I mean, he's never been. I wouldn't call him a liability by any stretch of the imagination.
No. I like LA Knight, but Rollins wins here, and LA Knight, I think, stays strong. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, Rollins wins just because I think that they're just continuing to try and push Rollins to be,
The dude?
the face of the company.
Yeah,
right.
For sure. And then the third announced match, obvious one, we have Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Goldberg. If Goldberg wins, we riot. I say. I think Gunther wins. He goes out. Goldberg should be going out on his back. Although, if there's one wrestler that would, slap tradition right in the face, it would be Goldberg, and he would be bitchy enough to want to go out as the champion.
And then what?
I know. It would do nothing for anybody.
Literally nothing for anybody. This match is a fucking waste of time, space, ring time, everything.
Yeah.
History books. It's a waste of everything. Like, Goldberg should have retired a long time ago. Like, don't get me wrong. I will sit here and admit, at his peak, Goldberg was arguably one of the most popular wrestlers of all time, if not the most popular wrestler of all time.
I loved him as a child.
He was very popular.
Yep.
But like you said, exactly. You loved him as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And nostalgia only gets you so far.
Right. I mean, guys like Goldberg, guys like Ultimate Warrior, they're just they're of the same vein, of people that as you get older, as you start to learn more.
Once you've appreciated work rate, guys like that go down the drain, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now we're going to move on to the 3 announced matches that we have for NXT Great American Bash. For the NXT Women's North American Championship, Sol Ruca defends against Izzy Dame. I think Sol retains here. I just don't think Izzy is very strong in the ring right now.
No, she's pretty green still, from what I've seen, and I think Sol Ruca is one of the ones that they really like in NXT. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I'm glad that she's got the title, and I think she retains here.
I think she's already a superstar, man.
Yeah.
You know, I can see her being a member of the WWE roster for the next 10 to 15 years. Easily.
If they play it right, she's got she's got everything about her that could go right.
Mm-hmm. In a tag team match, we have Fatal Influence, JC Jane and Fallon Henley against Jordan Grace and newcomer Blake Monroe, formerly known as Mariah May. I'll also admit I haven't been paying too much attention to this. I guess Jordan Grace and Monroe win here, but I don't care that much. And I just think that with what we saw from Mariah in AEW, it's hard to see her as a babyface. You know, I think she's kind of miscast as a babyface, and she played the role of being just an absolutely detestable heel so well that I really don't want to see her like as just a normal babyface in NXT.
No, they're fumbling this one, and I'm not saying that there isn't time to course correct, but right now I'm not entertained by Mariah May, Blake Monroe, call her what you will, like right now, and that's unfortunate because she was involved in one of the best storylines in the history of AEW.
Yes, absolutely, and that is definitely a match of the year candidate too. And it's going to be crazy looking back on this year with her specifically and being like, oh, wow, she was in AEW at the beginning of the year and then WWE at the end of the year. But I think, to me, that still stands as like the match of the year to me. And of course, we have another like 5 months to go.
Her versus Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole series.
I just thought that match had absolutely everything: story, drama, intensity, work rate.
We've had a lot of really great matches this year. It's going to be hard to nail down what is match of the year.
But you could say that one was uniquely set apart from the other ones, though.
Yeah, it had everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And right now for the NXT Championship, we have Yoshiki Inamura going up against the champion Obafemi. I guess Obafemi retains here. I think it's just another strong defense. Yeah. Who ultimately beats Obafemi for that belt? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's a case where they retire it on him, like not retire him with it, but he moves on something similar to what Asuka did when she moved to the main roster.
Right. I was kind of against that for Asuka too, in her being undefeated. I thought that she could have put somebody over in the end. In hindsight, looking back on it, I'm fine with it. But in the moment, I wasn't really that cool about it. I thought that Bayley should have beaten Asuka. I was just strong in the Bayley camp.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I was all for the streak. I think her losing it to Charlotte was a travesty. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Charlotte is just a walking, talking travesty.
But I'm very partial to Asuka, obviously, as anybody that knows me knows. So I'm not hating on it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from here. And then we have the WWE Women's Evolution pay-per-view that's coming up. It's the first time this pay-per-view has happened since 2018, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep. All right. First of all, we have a battle royal for a world championship match at Clash in Paris, and the participants are going to be announced. Thinking over this one, can they challenge for any title here?
I don't know. No, world championship.
Okay.
That's what it says here, anyway.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
far,
it would be like a return or something, right?
what's that?
You think it would be a return?
What do you mean?
You think it's going to be somebody returning that would win that match?
Maybe. But there are a few already announced participants: Ivy Nile, Stephanie Vaquer, Nia Jax, Nikki Bella, Natalia, and Maxine Dupree. So
Okay. I want it to be Stephanie Vaquer. I think it's probably going to be Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I you took the words out of my mouth there, honestly. Vaquer, though, I've been surprised in the past sometimes, and maybe here, something crazy happens.
Yeah. I am just annoyed by the presentation of Nikki Bella in this revisionist history that she was like a pioneer women's wrestler, and just like Io Sky, even like in a backstage segment, being like, "Thank you so much for what you did for us, Nikki." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she is not the pioneer that
Women's wrestling truly started getting better once the Bellas were gone. You can send me hate mail for that if anybody is angry, but like they just, I associate them with the Divas butterfly title.
Yeah.
The term Divas is them, and yeah, fuck Nikki Bella, but I guess she's going to be good for clicks and for eyes to be on the product again.
Yeah, and that's a nostalgia thing. There are some people that really do love the Bellas. It's just they've never been.
They've never been real wrestling fans.
No, they're diva fans, but that's okay, man. Like what you like. That's fine. It's just let's not pretend, like you said, let's not pretend they are, work rate champions.
I will be a dickhead gatekeeper in this situation. If you love Nikki Bella, you're a loser.
Okay. Dickhead noted. I will not be.
All right. We lost at least one viewer.
At least one of the 9 that we have. So, good job.
All right. So we have for the NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane defending against Jordynne Grace. I just don't see how Jordynne Grace doesn't win here.
Yeah, I feel bad that they put the title on JC Jane. She just wasn't ready for it.
I think she was ready for it. I just think that like they didn't really have. She wasn't like being booked strongly or anything like that. She's been there for a while. She can work great. But Jordynne Grace is the definition of evolution.
No, it's her time.
Yeah. I mean,
it was probably her time long before this, to be completely honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
She probably should have won a crack at it a while ago, but now this one-on-one shot to me is the chance.
They want to have those rush title reigns for Vaquer and Julia first, so they could bring them to the main roster, having already accomplished being NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely played a part in the delay there. We have a singles match for the Women's World Championship. Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley.
Yawn.
Do you think that like this match has just happened too often?
Way too many.
It's going to be a great match.
Okay. Yeah, they have good chemistry. I just don't want to see it again.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I'm going to go on my way here. I'm going to say this is a title change. I think Rhea wins the belt back.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and agree with you there.
Then we have a fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Championship. Raquel and Roxanne defending against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, new tag team. Sol Ruka and Zarya. And the reunited Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. You know who we're rooting for.
Obviously, big time rooting for the Kabuki Warriors. I think this is a retained situation.
Yeah, I think so too. But I do think that there's a chance that Asuka and Kairi win it too. You know, maybe yeah. If Liv is going to come back soon,
how soon is she supposed to come back?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I never looked at the timeline, but I think if she is going to come back soon, I could see a world where Asuka and Kairi win. Roxanne is the reason why they lose, and Liv drives a rift into between Liv and Roxanne even more.
Maybe.
Yep.
I mean, if it benefits Asuka and Kairi, then I'm all for it.
I know you are, you sicko.
I am a sicko.
And then we have for the WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton defending against Trish Stratus. Oh, Trish. Give her a call, and she's always ready to deliver a very solid match. Babyface versus babyface, just no heat here. It is going to be fun, though. It's going to be a nice win for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I think it's just a good notch in Tiffany Stratton's belt.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's Tiffany goes over here in a very good match.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have Naomi versus Jade Cargill in a no-holds-barred match. I'm actually going to go with Naomi here because Jade won the match at WrestleMania. And I think, and Jade already does have a title shot going into SummerSlam. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens where Naomi gets the win here, and maybe she has a right to like insert herself into the title match at SummerSlam too.
I mean, regardless of the outcome here, Naomi's going to insert herself into that title match with being Miss Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. That's
right. And you know what? I think they kind of need that too, because as good as Tiffany Stratton is, I just don't know if she can pull off having a great match with Jade Cargill.
No.
Yeah.
No, she's not a ring general like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's athletic, but she needs somebody stronger in the ring with her.
Yes, definitely. And then the triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defends against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I think that this is still Becky Lynch. I think she retains here. Obviously, Bayley and Lyra aren't getting along at all anymore. So I think that plays into Becky retaining.
Word on the street is Bayley turns heel here.
Okay.
That's word on the in the Twitter sphere that I've seen, but I don't know how accurate that is. I'm intrigued. I think Becky retains here. I think it'll be match of the night, to be completely honest with you. I don't know how you feel. Not match of the night overall, match of this show.
I think so, but I think Rhea and Io Sky still a strong contender for that. But definitely possible that this could steal the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, damn, Evolution looks like it's going to be a good show, man.
I came into this. I was like, oh, we're gonna have to talk about Evolution, and the more that we talked about it, I'm actually kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be a pretty good show.
I'm definitely looking forward to that more than I am Saturday night's main event, or the NXT show for that matter, just based on the lack of matches that have been announced for the NXT show.
And this is on Sunday, whereas All In is on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Actually, I think the NXT show might be on Saturday afternoon, if I'm correct.
Is anything going up directly against All In?
Yeah, Saturday night's main event.
No, I think All In's in the afternoon, bro.
Let me see.
Look it up. I think All In starts at like 3:00.
Oh my God, it does. AEW's first afternoon pay-per-view with a special start time of 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to get stuff done early in the morning.
I was actually kind of pissed off, to be completely honest with you, because I have to work until like 6 or 7.
Ugh.
So I was planning on coming home and being able to watch some of it. Instead, I'm going to have to avoid spoilers all day.
All right. Well, I guess it's not going to be going against Saturday night's main event.
I think it's going against the NXT show, which is it's going to fucking clobber the NXT show because that.
Oh my God! Why did
dog shit
doesn't
right
stand
now.
a fucking chance. Yeah, I love me some Inamura, but buddy, you do not stand a chance against this card for AEW this week. All in all, I think All In has had a really good build. Let's get into the card, shall we?
Absolutely.
Whew. All right. So first, let's tackle these Casino Gauntlet matches.
Okay.
So for the women's Casino Gauntlet, so far we have Chris Statlander as the first entrant. What do you see happening here? Do you have any predictions as far as who could debut? Who could win it? What do you think?
So this is for an anytime title shot, right?
Yes.
Man. I wish I knew more entrants than just Chris Statlander to be able to make a vague prediction.
Yeah.
So without that, I'll just say, you know what? I'm gonna say Chris Stat runs the gauntlet and wins. Just because.
I would like to see that. It's too early for the people that have been released from their 90-day contracts to come in here, right?
I
think those releases happen in May.
I know a handful of people are doing indie shows, like Shotzi is doing GCW.
Yeah, I think Shotzi was technically a member of the NXT roster when she got released.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what the timeline is, to be completely honest with you.
I could totally see Shotzi debuting here.
It would be cool.
Yeah. I was also thinking, even though it's too early in the 90-day, Dakota Kai would have been a great debut here too.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think of who would be a good surprise winner. I mean, Jamie Hayter comes to mind. I think she's out again with an injury, right?
I think Nixon Newell is somebody that could debut.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely a handful of women out there that could debut here, but yeah, I think Chris Stat is set up to do something big in this one, just
especially with these little overtures of her joining the Hurt Syndicate. Or I'm sorry, the why can't I think of their fucking name?
Death Riders?
The Death Riders, yeah.
Although the Hurt Syndicate would be cooler.
It would be cooler, yeah. Maybe I just unconsciously want that to happen instead.
Doesn't she have history with MJF? Didn't they go to the same wrestling school?
Yes, I think they were both trained by Brian Myers.
Creative Pro, right?
Creative Pro, yep. Good call there, Dan. All right, then we have the men's Casino Gauntlet match for future AEW World Championship match. So far, we have Mark Briscoe and MJF first and second entrants. Mystico is also going to be an entrant in this matchup. Just thinking over this. You know what? We were talking at the beginning of the show of people who may be free agents that may be able to debut here. How about Richard Holiday, who just had his last GCW match?
I don't think he would have had his last GCW match if he was going to AEW.
Yeah.
But didn't he just start his own promotion or something? Like,
He has his own show.
own
That's
show. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man. If he's canceling indie bookings and that looks like a WWE contract to me, which wouldn't surprise me. He fits the bill for them.
Yes.
He'd be big in NXT.
What a great fucking heel that guy is. What a guy that has completely transformed himself over the last couple of years. A guy who I kind of thought used to be bland, and now it's like, yo, this dude's a player, and I want to see him in the big time. So maybe just wishful thinking on my end for Richard Holiday. But I guess MJF is the safe bet here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the addition of Mystico, I think that could derail MJF's hopes in some capacity since they have been feuding. But yeah, I mean, it feels like MJF is the right call here. But do you waste MJF's title shot on this here? Because I feel like MJF should eventually win it back again at some point.
How about this for a big surprise as far as the winner of the gauntlet match goes? Yep. What if this is the launching point for the main event run of Brody King?
I mean, take my money, fucks. Like, he should have been on a main event run the second Alistair was gone.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just kind of hard without people being announced yet. It's hard to kind of choose from who we think is going to win this.
Are there any other free agents that could possibly jump in there that you know of? I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Trying to think. I'm thinking in like New Japan also. I really don't know, man.
I bet you Gabe Kidd is a participant. That wouldn't surprise me.
Gabe Kidd's in G1 right now, man.
Oh, is he in the G1?
Nah. Yeah. Don't expect a lot of those guys from New Japan to be there. G1 season, baby. Should get into that after this weekend of wrestling because I think it has already started, or it's going to start this weekend. Maybe next show we'll do a little rundown of the brackets.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the bracket. Well, not looking up the brackets, but I'm looking up when it starts right now.
Right. Yeah, I just don't.
August 7th, or starts on July 19th.
Okay, so we got some time. So maybe he very well could be in the match.
Yeah, starts next weekend. A week from Saturday. Yeah, so you could very well see some New Japan guys in the show.
I hope Suji's in it too. I freaking love that guy.
Yeah, he's a badass.
All right, AEW TNT Championship. Adam Cole defending against Kyle Fletcher. It's going to be a really good match, and I think we are going to have a new champion in Kyle Fletcher. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I got Kyle here. I just don't. I think Adam Cole's run has been really bland, and I think Kyle will be able to spice that run up.
Yeah. It's like you want to sell a really old stock right here, and there's just this hot stock on the market in Kyle Fletcher that, his value is just increasing. Cole has depreciating value. So I just think Fletcher wins it here.
Yeah, it's time.
Okay, three-way tag match, AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Hurt Syndicate, Lashley and Benjamin defend against Jet Speed, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and against the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. I think the Hurt Syndicate win here. But since this is a triple threat tag team match, I do see a world where Jet Speed wins. Maybe they pin Nick Wayne. Pisses off Christian Cage, and the Hurt Syndicate lose without getting pinned.
I think the only reason you put the Hurt Syndicate in a three-way dance is because they're gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it plays out to me. Um, I just could see either team winning. I really can. I could see the patriarchy winning, right? I mean,
you see, I guess I can, but it's just like you're putting the titles on a team you know are going to break up like kind of soon. Because like Christian and Nick Wayne, they've been teasing a lot of tension for a really long time.
yeah, you're right. You're right. They have been teasing a lot of tension, but things can be fixed with a title run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Jet Speed as tag team champions, I think that would just breathe a lot of life
A
into the
lot of life
division, and you would have a lot of really competitive matches with a lot of really good tag teams. Like they pair up well with anybody. As much as we love the Hurt Syndicate and how fun it is that they just beat the shit out of guys, you know, after a while it's like we kind of miss having some competitive matches.
So to bring up tag team wrestling and whatnot, fuck, just lost my whole ass train of thought because El Grande Americano came on my screen. Scorpio Sky's new group with Top Flight and Christopher Daniels. You know, one, I think Scorpio Sky is going to be one of the guys that's going to be in the gauntlet match.
I liked that.
Which is really good. And I think that, you know, Jet Speed versus Top Flight and a lot of other tag teams would be really good, you know, for the division. I know that I was in love with the Hurt Syndicate for a really long time. But truthfully, I think it's time to move on from them as the champs. I don't think they need to be champs anymore.
I agree with that. All right. Big tag team match. Swerve and Ospreay against the Young Bucks. If Ospreay and Swerve lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. If the Young Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their EVP titles. All right. With every fiber of my being, I want Swerve and Ospreay to win. However, with this stipulation that they won't be able to challenge for the title for a year, with the expectation that Hangman is going to end up being the champion, I can't help but think that the Bucks are going to win. You know, maybe you'll have a returning Jack Perry or something come in there and cost Swerve and Ospreay. And I think that over the course of the next year, you know, the fact that they can't challenge for a title is just going to fester inside both of these guys. I could see Swerve possibly becoming a heel again, getting very frustrated. I could even see Ospreay, you know, kind of losing it. I think that there is just a lot of, as much as I want to see both of these guys get title shots, I think that there are a lot of stories that can be made out of both of these guys not being able to challenge for the title over the next year.
And there's a lot of other guys that can challenge for the title too.
Yeah.
You know.
And this might be the story of like Ospreay finally getting his AEW World Championship match by next year's All In.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, did they say is going to be back in London?
Is it going to be back in London? Well,
I
mean, all the more reason, right?
Yeah. I would be on board for that in general. What is AEW without the Bucks as EVPs, though? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of why I think that they're going to win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they lose that title. Or they lose that title and then they are the ones that go off the rails.
Right. I think that either result, you have some interesting stories to tell.
So it's definitely, it's a year's worth of story to tell either way.
Yeah. I like how they set it up, you know. Sure. Will it suck that Ospreay and Strickland won't be able to challenge for a championship? Sure.
Yeah.
But
did they say any championship or a world championship?
For the AEW World Championship specifically.
So fuck it. Put those guys in a unified title match or TNT, you know, program. put some prestige on one of those titles.
Or maybe have Swerve like appear at Wrestle Kingdom or something, you know?
Oh, good God, that would be.
That'd be wild.
I think New Japan needs something right now, to really set them off. I hope this G1's good. The
I
lineup
think
is pretty good.
I think Gabe Kidd probably wins the G1.
He should. He's their biggest star, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, it maybe have an all British main event for a Wrestle Kingdom, him versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that was a weird title change back to Zack Sabre Jr. so quickly. I don't.
Well, the reason why that happened is because Goto is injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
really as simple as that. Okay, so we have winner takes all match to unify the AEW Continental International Championship into the AEW Unified Championship. How it's not the AEW Intercontinental Championship, who knows? What do I know? But we have Okada versus Kenny Omega. And wow, this is going to be the fourth match of their epic encounters.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kenny here. I do want to mention here, though, that Okada versus Ibushi is a bona fide TV match of the year candidate. That match was absolutely fucking excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good reminder of exactly who Okada is.
Yes.
And the fact is, it's unfortunate that AEW has to do that with the way that they have been booking him over the past year. But I'm glad they did it. I'm glad that they put on that showcase with him and Ibushi just to be like, okay, well, this is why this man has been regarded as one of the greatest wrestlers in the world for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I don't think Kenny has not come back from the storyline yet where he got his voice box fucked up.
Yeah.
And I expect him. He's probably going to be on Dynamite this week. Wouldn't you think?
Kenny?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely coming back on Dynamite this week. Man, I've really racked my brain over who's going to win this, and I think it's going to be Okada.
I like it. I like that we're at odds here.
Yeah, I think there's too many factors against Kenny, and Kota Ibushi is just not enough. Going to be enough to save him. I think Okada wins the Unified Championship.
I think that Omega wins here, and I think that it leads to Okada just kind of thinking about the error of his ways over the past like year or so, of like who the allegiances that he's made, the matches that he's had. I think that this is going to be a moment where Okada is going to have to think about, who the Rainmaker is, and I could see a babyface turn after this match for Okada.
See, if Omega wins, I want Okada to stay heel because, truthfully, if Swerve and Ospreay can't challenge for the titles, right? Even if they're going to turn to heel, right? Who else is going to challenge for the title when Hangman wins? He's going to need foils. So
right.
Why not a heel Okada?
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a banger, though. That's for damn sure. But yeah, we have for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm defending against Mercedes Moné. This is very, very tough. But you know what? I think Toni retains.
I think we're going to disagree again. I think Mercedes wins here, man. I just do. I think that I think she's the new belt collector, man, and I like the gimmick.
I like it too, but I like the idea more of Tony getting the win here and it driving Mercedes crazy. And eventually she wins the title, but I think that Mercedes will never get over the fact that Tony stole her big moment.
Maybe.
You know, and it just intensifies the feud more.
Just agree to disagree here. I just think this is going to be the spot in Texas, right? I think the biggest arena show that's Mercedes, go to in her legacy. I think that's the way she wants to win and whatnot. I think she wins here. I just think it is. Tony's had her moments. I think this is going to be Mercedes this time around.
All right, we'll have to see because as I see it right now, I feel like they have pretty equal star power at this point.
I agree.
That's how I see it.
I completely agree. I just think it's Mercedes' moment.
All right, and then finally, Texas Death Match for the AEW World Championship. Moxley defends against Hangman Adam Page. Let's be real, guys. Like, if Moxley wins here, they're going to upset so many fucking people. They're going to lose all this momentum that they have built up to this point if they actually do that. So it would be fucking crazy if they didn't have Hangman win this. Am I right, Dan?
There would be no excuse. And I'm growing to enjoy Moxley's reign a little bit more. I think when we look back on it, it'll be more fondly than at times when we were in the middle of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna look back on it like in hindsight and be like, oh, that was a necessary run, so we get this.
Yeah, it was a good run. And did it have its faults? Sure, but we got to where we needed to be. And the show was getting progressively hotter as the angle was going on. So,
and I expect us to finally see after 1 year the AEW World Championship again.
Yeah, it'll be a very fulfilling moment for that to be the case.
Absolutely.
They're announcing.
All right, so
the
All
Evolution
In
Battle Royal participants tonight on NXT. I just saw that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. So, other than this, I understand like Starcast is happening too. I wonder if there's any shows. Listen, like I'm not gonna buy any of those shows for Starcast, but if there's any available on my Triller subscription, I may have to sit down and watch an Andre Anderson and Tully Blanchard Q&A or whatever the fuck they have,
I'm sure there'll be something. I can't say what that'll be, but I'm sure there'll be something for you to watch, something for you to consume.
Definitely. All right. Before we go, guys, I do want to let everyone know that you should all go out of your way to watch possibly a match of the year candidate that happened this past weekend. It was a trios match. It was Marcus Mathers and Alec Price and Jordan Oliver against Billy Starks, Megan Bain, and Miyu Yamashita. This was on GCW The Top Play. I encourage everyone to go out of their way and watch this match. If you want to have really good feelings about the future of wrestling and the place that it's going to be in, like, holy fucking shit, dude. All of these men and women just go 1,000 miles an hour, put everything they could into it. And it's just so beautiful, too, when you see, Bain and Starks, the future of AEW. You got Mathers, who's a WWE ID prospect. Who knows who's going to be lucky enough to scoop up Price, Oliver, and Yamashita. But all these all these wrestlers just absolutely went for broke and just crushed it.
It was absolutely, you know, I think I texted you in some to the context of 8, 9, 10 years from now, this is the kind of match that they're going to be talking about when all these guys are and girls are stars, right? Like this is what it was.
Yeah.
This is how we talk about, you know, not necessarily the matches, but the way that we revere PWG from back in the day. It had that kind of feel to it.
I think that this match was a testament to the evolution of women's wrestling, in that these are three that could go hold for hold, move for move, at that frenetic pace that was set by those three men in the ring. The women all kept up and then some. And I just think that like that type of match that you see this match today, you wouldn't have seen this kind of match like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Right. It just speaks to just how much women's wrestling has leveled up.
It's hard to imagine anybody keeping up with Alec Price, let alone women wrestling.
Oh my God, he's endless energy.
Yeah, whether it be male, female, dog or cat, anything.
Yeah,
keeping up with him is impressive. But everybody in the ring did, and it's just the mix of styles that were in the ring is just outstanding. An incredibly well booked match, and bravo to Brett Lauderdale for putting it together, and just making you feel something. All of them are really going to be something special in a few years. I mean, they all are now. Look at Price and Oliver are, big time indie names. Marcus Mathers, like you said, is a WWE prospect. You got AEW signees in there, and Yamashita could be signed anywhere.
She could be signed anywhere, and I feel like she is going to go to a major promotion, especially for the fact that she regularly trains with Natalia.
Yeah, I can see her in AEW very easily. You know how Tony has a thing for the Japanese.
But who's also to say that Yamashita doesn't get scooped up by NXT and has an awesome women's championship run?
Could very easily. She's one of my favorite strikers out there.
Yeah, male or female.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so guys, huge stamp of approval right there. Maybe we'll even start talking more wrestling. Indie wrestling, that is. I couldn't help but think to myself, too, this was in Hartford, Connecticut. That's only a couple hours away from us, man. I'm thinking
Hartford's not a bad drive.
Maybe the next time GCW is in Hartford, we should make the trip.
I feel like they've come closer, too, haven't they? I don't know.
We'll come to Rochester. Is Hartford closer to us than Rochester?
Rochester's, 2.5 hours, 3 hours?
So it's probably about the same because Hartford's about 2 hours away from us.
Yeah, they're about the same, give or take. But still, no, I mean, GCW shows are fun, man. I've been to one.
Same here.
I enjoy them.
I mean, God, I watched Speedball Mike Bailey have a 5-star match against a sex doll.
Yeah, I got to see Vikingo versus fucking Gringo Loco.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the match that didn't that happen at the time where they were super weird about recording Vikingo matches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have it on the actual show that was on TV.
Yep.
You saw it live.
Yep.
Oh wow, it just lives in your memory, doesn't it?
Just lives in my memory. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for this week.
Sounds good to me.
Again, guys, glad to be back here. We try to do this every week. We'll see how next week shakes out. We certainly would like to be back and talk about the fallout from All In and the other shows that happened. But as always, thank you all for the support. Follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, on Twitter at Smarknado1, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And go check out our link tree. Check out that QR code right there. Dan, you have anything left for us?
No, I don't. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Keep watching wrestling. Epstein